Greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know what Fajimoni's doing. His screen is just black. Maybe he had to step away. But we are okay. You're black again, brother. Okay, now you're upside down. Okay, there you go. Can you hear me, Fajimoni? Fajimoni, can you hear me?
I can't hear. Sound check. Can you hear
You
me?
can't. I can hear. I can hear you. I hear you fine, but you can't hear me.
I can't hear you. I don't know why.
Well, I hear you fine.
What I do? Mike. That's Cam. Man, how I do this?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we can't. I can't hear. I mean, I can hear you fine, but you can't hear me for some reason. But everyone, we are live.
Come on.
Do this.
Hold on 1 second, Dennis. I know y'all give me a little. I'm just fixing this. Give me a chance to fix this.
No, go out and come back in.
What did I do to this phone?
Go out and come back in. Oh, there we go. All right, y'all. We are live. Dynasty Mirror Search for Who. Thank you so much. I apologize. For all the technical difficulties, but thank you for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, go to dynastymirror.com. Go to searchforhuru.com as well. And guys, again, please hit that subscription button, that bell, subscription button, bell, subscription, whatever. Yeah. Make sure you hit that. Also, tour Sierra Leone. We still got a couple more spots. If you're interested in going to Sierra Leone with us next month, hit me up. And citizenship opportunities are available, everyone. Again, citizenship opportunities are available, everyone. All right, let me get Fajimoni back in here. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're good to go. All right, perfect. Yeah, when in doubt, go out and come back in. There we go. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, guys. Again, as you come to the chat room, hit that like button. And let's see what else. What other announcements, guys? I am rebranding the tour company, so I'm in the works of doing that. That should be done, no later by the time. So I get back from the tour. I return back December 9th. So I want to make sure it's done by the time I come back. So as far as the rebranding, the new site, it's nice. It's nice. So I was hit with some inspiration a couple weeks ago. Then the name finally came to me. The name actually came to me this morning of the new tour company. So I am looking forward to that. Without further ado, we have Brother Fajimoni on with us today. And today's topic is Black America under a state of emergency? Are we under a state of emergency? Hey, Fajimoni, your boy Joe Biden, because I know you voted for him. I know you love him.
All right.
Those are your peoples. So illegal immigrants who were separated at the border in 2018, they're discussing giving them $450,000 apiece.
Wait, you got to be specific because they sent the Haitians back. So who you talking about here?
I'm talking about 2018.
Oh, 400 what?
$450,000 a family.
A piece. Hey man, they do what they want to do. I mean, if you want to comment on it, I
didn't vote for him, so I knew this was coming. Like shout out to Brandon. I know you didn't. I know I'm just giving you a hard time. Shout out to Brandon who's in the chat room. Pan-African Strikes Back. Like we told y'all this was coming. Like I knew. And listen, his first year is not even up yet. Guess who's gonna go on the next 3 years? Like I knew this was coming.
Kamala?
I knew this was coming, but y'all was bullying black people. Our ancestors died. Old ball coach email me Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com, Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com, or go to dynastymirror.com and send me a message there. He told y'all, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Kamala Harris, whenever she was on a black platform and they brought up black issues, she said, change the subject. I told you, I knew this was happening. Knew this was going to happen. So, oh well, not my problem. But anyways, is Black America under a state of emergency. Follow money. Go ahead and take it away. Introduce yourself and go ahead and take it away. Guys, hit that like button and then we'll open up the lines here in about 25 minutes. All right, go ahead.
Peace and blessings. Thanks for having me again, Dynast. It's Fajumoni, you know, my priesthood name from Africa. Complex, you know, my American name. You know, last show, you know, they got complex. So, you know, I think today I'm gonna be a little more mellow. I'm probably gonna be Fajumoni more than complex today. Unless somebody call complex out, then they got to get a complex situation.
Okay. All right, so Fajumoni, is Black America under a state of emergency? Or is it in a state of emergency or under a state of emergency?
I would say it's under, because we've been in a state of emergency since before we were born. We are currently born into a war that we didn't choose. We are currently born into a war on us that we didn't volunteer for. We came out the womb and we had to hit the ground running. We've been in a state of emergency since our continent was fully taken away from our grasp. And we've been in a state of emergency mainly for us who since we've been here. So the bigger question is the fact that, has it gotten worse? So what's happening for us to come back to the table and have to question, are we back under a state of emergency that we've never left? All right. So let's look at what's happening in the news. You have a lot of people didn't see the Senate hearing against Joe Biden. Actually, the congressional hearings they've been having against Joe Biden with the gas prices. If you watch YouTube and you watch the hearings of the Senate or the Congress against Joe Biden over gas prices, within that hearing is a hearing that most people miss because it's mistitled. There's also a hearing about social media and the fact that China bought a big chunk of the stock of social media, and the American Senate is questioning TikTok mainly, but of course they're questioning other social media owners about the algorithms, about the information that China's able to get to.
So are they saying there's an issue with TikTok? Like I know Trump was trying to ban TikTok, but you know they got mad at Trump for trying to ban it. But like, what's the problem?
Well, so now they're having a hearing against Biden about what Trump tried to do about TikTok and about the fact that China bought a big amount of it, and so your facial recognition information or ours, any one of us that's on those type of social media, it's possibly available to China, and they need to take a chance and watch that Senate hearing, because they was really grilling dude about, is our information available to China? Like just people just like me, you, and everybody else that's watching. And peace and blessings to everybody that's watching, by the way. And I salute you, your ancestors, and the deity or creator that you praise, by the way. So yeah, bro, like, so that's one of the things that's happening. We talked about the mutual combat zone or things that's been going on. There's a lot of more violence, not just Chicago. It's a lot of things going on across the United States. Look in the news again. You'll see the police departments across different states fighting back against I don't know what word I have to say.
The cocoa.
The cocoa. They're fighting back. It's to where Chicago mayor sued the Chicago Police Department's union president, right. And there's a current gag order on the union president, and he said he has the protection against the cocoa. He was just defending his union, his police officers who wanted to take what's called a religious exemption,
right? And
they gag ordered him. So, man, that's another thing that's happening right now.
What is Heavyfoot doing in Chicago? Heavyfoot, what's she doing?
She's doing what she's supposed to do. She's doing the bidding of the forces that be. And if she makes another round, I think it would be more because of the politics that are happening today, if anything, of the state of emergency of black folks.
Who voted for her? Like, I mean, she's just an awkward character. Like, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out who decided to go to the polls to vote for her. Like, our better question is who ran against her.
You know what? Nobody even remembers. The worthy opponent that ran against her was a black millionaire by the name, maybe a billionaire, but I know millionaire, multi-millionaire by the name of Willie. Oh man, Willie. I'm gonna get back to you on that, but I love Willie. I forgot his last name, but that's the one that was running that people wanted. So I don't know how she won. I don't know how any of these people won, to be honest with you. That's why we in a state of emergency. Ain't nothing in the Constitution anyway that says that we vote in anyone. It's called election, not a voting. So all these things is happening. It's a trickle down effect, if you ask me. So that's another thing. We in a state of emergency. We got a mayor that nobody knows what she's doing. We have it to where the alphabets have been pitted against for contracts against the underdog, or I'm not even gonna say dog, the undergods, the black people have to bid now with renegade white males.
Right.
You have to bid against them because now they're able to come in if they got an alphabet on. So
it's
a new fight around, bro. It's a new fight out here now.
Because if they have an alphabet, they're considered minorities now.
Yes. So white males are able to come in with that. So we were struggling for contracts and jobs from the government already. So when they did that, and when that mayor came in, that was an automatic thing. So now we fighting against that. But this is all pre-COVID. Now we down, well, Coco. My apologies.
Coco.
I hope. Yeah, Coco. Yeah, so this is all before all this shutdown stuff. Now you got police gag. It's less police on the streets. When you got less police on some streets, and you still got the same some of these neighborhoods in combat, what are the people going to do that depend on the police? It's going to be less. Looking at this fight, it was already less during the shutdown. It's about to be even less workers all across America. So if you have a problem getting your IRS check back, for instance, or your refund, if you get a refund back, or anything else, you can't get that because they have less workers now. All contractors,
even in the IRS.
Yes, IRS have less workers.
Oh wow!
So a lot of people have not gotten their taxes back. So that's even less money. You got some people who got PPP loans. You got some people who got EIDL, but the regular people who've been paying taxes, who've been getting their refunds, a lot of them don't have that, bro. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing. So you have more poverty, more people don't have money. Are we in a state of emergency? Right. Okay, let's see further. So you got the police, maybe less. The pilots, maybe less. You got the CDC mandates that came out stated recently today. The new mandate came out further stating that people not from America that are not full citizens can't fly over here as of November 8th. This is on the
you have to be
website.
American citizen. You have to have the COVID, the COCO back.
You got to be fully
you have to have the COCO vacation, the COCO vacation, right?
Yeah,
if you're a foreigner to come over.
Yeah,
right.
you ain't supposed to come here unless you're from Afghanistan. You're welcome.
Right.
So a whole nother thing. And they're flying in on private jets to private airports. What's another thing people need to watch.
Hold on, one second.
That whole flying thing. Let me Daniels, let me finish that the other half of it. If you are an American trying to fly somewhere else, you have to have your PCR test at least one day before you fly now. And if you got your full metal jacket, I'm gonna call it full metal jacket. Full metal jacket.
Then
they give you 3 days, to let them know that you tested negative so you can fly. So you got up to 3, you just get spread in days. But pay attention, everybody. See, things are done in steps. Today you get 3 days if you got your full metal jacket on. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's going to be I'm not going to put that in the air. Tomorrow it could be you may not be able to go nowhere if you don't get your full metal jacket.
Right.
So that's another thing that's happened. So are we in a state of emergency? A greater state of emergency? Ask yourself the question. So we talking about job, we talking about school. Another thing, Diners, they're talking about getting the kids full metal jackets. What is it? 5
Oh, yeah, they're already approving some of the vaccines. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're approving the vacays. Yeah, the vacays for the kids. Yeah.
So they're trying to get the kids full metal jackets. Now, which children are they talking about, though? See, can they get your child through your house? Are they going to send DCFS or CPS in some states to your home to make your children put on a full metal jacket? That's an emergency. But more than likely, they're going to get your children while they're in the public school system. Those are the ones that are going to have to get the full metal jacket before anybody. So now that puts Black folks on, who's going to watch my children if I don't send them there, if I don't want to put on a full metal jacket?
Right.
Okay. So now what do you do? And I'm going to talk about later, Diane. I'm talking about solutions for these things. And I implore anyone to call in with some solutions on these things. But are we in a state of emergency? So schools being affected. Children are being affected. Pilots might be affected. Passports might be affected. Jobs have been affected. Refund checks have been affected. Are you in a state of emergency? Somebody call in when you give callers a chance to call in. I want them to talk about the different states of emergencies across. There are other things when you're ready, but if you got questions, I'll wait.
Yeah, let's see here. So shout out to Juke Joint 523 for the super chat. I heard Biden thinking about offering separated families at the border some form of reparations. Yeah, $450,000 per family. All right, then let's see here. Desert Bunny, I sent my taxes in June 2021, and they still have not processed. I called them and was on hold for 2 hours for them to tell me they are 6 months behind.
Thank you. I'm telling you, Diners, is it a state of emergency?
All right, here we go. Dominique Garner, bro, let's get to the nitty gritty. It's the job force, the alphabet community, both political parties that do not mean us well, letting in other minorities to cut down Black votes.
I mean, I want to know.
When you say cut down Black votes, what do you mean? Because over 90% of the Black vote goes to one party. So, I mean. And
it goes to a party that was never your grandparents' party. It goes to the party of the Ku Klux Klan. But I don't got to go there. Y'all don't want no history. I hope y'all do. This, I guess, the Democratic Bible is the Democratic Bible. If you want to bite off that, then that's what you sipping on. But that's who's doing this to you.
Right.
But it don't matter. Left wing, right wing, same bird. Where you want to fly to? That's the question. You had a party to yourself. It was called the Black Panther Party. If you go to the California Secretary of State, put in Black Panther Party in the system for business search or political party search, it was a registered political party for you. So a lot of you all that say we need to get together and get our own political party. Why y'all keep trying to make something new when you had what you needed? And you didn't, and a lot of people didn't support it. I know some of y'all wasn't born, and I wasn't born then either. But why couldn't we just pick the party back up? Well, I guess because they killed people off, locked them up, whatever they did to make you scared. But you had a political party. Right. Don't say you did it. Look it up. Look it up in your state. Black Panther Party for the self-defense of the people. And I'm going to get on that next. So are you in a state of emergency? Because that's part of the why. Why are you in a state of emergency? Who put you in a state of emergency? What else y'all got? Dinah, what else is it? So we talking about Lord Police. City is suing city. New York is suing New York. Chicago suing Chicago. Anybody else got other states they want to text Dinah's about where these things are going down? Dinah, I hope they let you know because I do want more information on it. And only the people in those states can tell you. I can speak from Chicago, and I have studied some of y'all other states, but it's best we hear from people who got their boots on the ground. So anybody want to talk about that? That's it. So are we in a state of emergency? Want me to keep going? Okay.
Nah, keep going. Like I said, we'll open the lines up in about 10 minutes. But guys, make sure you hit that like, guys. Hit that like button as you come to the chat room again. Please hit the like button as you come to the chat room, you guys. All right, go ahead.
All right. So I have
here we go. How worried should we be in regards to what's going on in the supply shortages and the transportation? What's it called? Oh man.
The
supply
shipping
shortages.
industry.
The shipping, but what's the term for it?
Shipping, logistics, supply, all that's different terms.
Logistics, but the something line. What's the term? Guys, help me out.
No, I got you, Dennis. I don't know the term, but I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. meat prices is going up in your restaurants if you ain't noticed it. People who still eat meat, I know Diners got a lot of vegans, but Diners is a foodie. So the meat prices going up now.
I'm meat based. Some people say they're plant based. I'm meat based. But go ahead.
That's the African
supply
food,
chain. Thank you, Art. Supply chain. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Supply chain.
So the supply chain thing. Okay, how this all of a sudden? The Constitution of the United States of America has articles dealing with emergency powers, stating that during emergencies, certain moves can be made, but it has to be made with the agreement of Congress and go through the process and the president. However, somebody said before, if you keep creating emergencies, you keep creating reasons to keep taking more and more powers and rights away. So instead of just shitting on the Constitution or just saying the Constitution is no longer whatever, even though black folks know a lot of times it depends on when white folks want it to work for you. Honestly, in America. So where does the emergency come from all of a sudden? Why? If anybody can answer you and send you something and say, why, especially as a person who works in the shipping industry or in the travel industry or in the logistics industry, what is stopping goods from coming in? Right. We don't get a full understanding of it. But if you just think about the Constitution, if there keep being created emergencies, people can keep faking like they're taking your power and your freedoms away from you due to an emergency.
Hey, Mykael, keep going. Give me 30 seconds. I just want to plug up my speaker because it's going dead. But keep going. Give me 30 seconds. Go ahead.
So the next thing, viewers, for you to look at, recently, 4 scientists for the CDC resigned. This is in the MSNBC.com. You can read about 4 scientists for the CDC who resigned. It states when 4 scientists and physicians at 2 of the most important United States agencies leave during the middle of a global pandemic with no ready transition plan or heirs apparent, there's clearly a need to look to the agency's leadership. Okay, that's another thing. Are you in a state of emergency? Was not an emergency, but you see these things happening. You heard about Kyrie Irving, and his stance and fight and his possible loss of money, because he don't want to wear the Full Metal Jacket. The star of Black Panther, the sister, she's also in the same slinger. She's the star supposedly of Black Panther 2, the movie, but they told us she got to wear Full Metal Jacket, and now we trying to wait to see what happens with the negotiations because they were already in the middle of filming Black Panther 2. Dr. Boyce Watkins reported about that recently. So are you in a state of emergency with all these things going on? Those are some of the questions. People falling further behind in child support, Diners. Think about it. It was a pandemic.
Yeah, but listen, they don't care. The family courses don't care. They're gonna lock your ass up.
But think about the question. Are they in a further state of emergency though? They lost money because they were told they couldn't go to work. They were told that and that's male and female because both of them paid child support. So think about this.
Let's be real. It's predominantly male. Let's be honest.
It is predominantly male.
Vast majority predominantly male.
You closed down my job. You kept charging the same amount as if I was still making the same amount, knowing that you're the one that changed everything, and you didn't change anything. So later, we can talk about the fact that some people did most of the modify who knew this was coming, and they changed it, and some people right now are suffering. And so when that happens, when child support gets behind, it's not just the children that are affected. The driver's license, the credit, and the passports of mainly, because majority of child support force is mainly Black folks, right? the people majority paying it is Black folks and majority Black males. So, okay, now they had, some of them have lost their driver's licenses. Some of them have lost their passports. Some of their credit has went down even lower. Even lower. With those things happening, without the driver's license, the credit, passport, they can't travel to work. So even more problems are happening. During the shutdowns, many were not working, but were still charged the same. I talked about that. Now, you got a lot of people who may say, I want to wear the Full Metal Jacket. So now it's about to get worse. because they're telling you not only are they got, what do they call it? It's not really laying you off. It's just pretty much putting you on hold until you do it.
Right.
But you can't get unemployment. So your family's finna suffer. And then you're gonna suffer more.
Let me ask you this. You think it's a possibility that because of what's going on, the child support system could be that might end, like it might stop, like they might put it on hold? Do you think that's a possibility?
They're not trying to do that, man. I'm glad I ain't got to worry about it no more. But they ain't trying to do that, man. They get a lot of money off those bonds. They get a lot of money off those cases. So they're not trying to do that. They get interest off those cases. They get the back support. A lot of the time, the state gets more than the individual or the man paying the support. So they're not letting go of that money bank. And plus, it's a way to keep down Black folks. So it is what it is. So debt has risen even more, and is looking like it's going to rise even more for those who won't take the full metal jacket. So, are we in a state of emergency? We're under the state of emergency.
All right.
So those are just a few things that I want to open up with. I had a presentation, but you see my computer keep acting up, and I revert to my iPhone every time.
Okay. It's all good, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up the lines. If you'd like to call in, link will be in the chat room. Click on the link and please call in. If you'd like to add to the conversation, again, click on the link and add to the conversation. Guys, hit that like button as well.
I want to make sure we talk about solutions, because I want to share some solutions that's been going on too. When they can call in, but anybody have solutions as well. But if they have any questions on any subject area, I may have solutions by the grace of Olodumare. So
there you go.
Please do call in, and if you got a question about what to do about these things we're talking about, I would definitely like to help you out.
So guys, again, links in the chat room. Hit that like button. Also, tour Sierra Leone. Citizenship is available for those who qualify. Guys, we're about 3 weeks away. We're about 3 weeks away. So people who are on the fence, hit me up, send me a message, send me an email. Let's roll.
They ain't called in yet?
The link's in the chat room. If you guys want to call in and add to the conversation, go ahead. But Fajimoni, go ahead. Let's start with some solutions.
All right.
Real quick. So one solution I was told was that we need to get out of the cities and move to the country. That's what I was told.
That could be a solution, but hopefully you got somebody who can train you on how to survive in the country. Hopefully you have someone who can train you on that. Hopefully you understand the difference between if you got to cut a geese or geese or a duck, that you know what not to cut the stomach acid, or to cut out the not to cut certain organs because it'll poison your meat. Hopefully you know that if you're a meat eater. Hopefully you know the difference between one mushroom and the other. Hopefully you have a way to get to the things you're going to need for survival. So city folks, hopefully you do. If not, solution. There are plenty of educational tools, books, and tool bags out there for you to get right now. Camping tents. Get yourself acquainted. Book of herbal remedies. You can get Dr. Laila Africa's book on how to use herbs and use herbs for medicine and things of that nature. So if they're gonna move to the country, bro, they got to get ready. One of the biggest things that we can notice what's happened during this time is that you are being forced to be more self-sufficient than you ever have been. And right now, during the time of the Coco, you have learned who actually controlled your life. You have learned who had the power to take your job any day they wanted, which is why you should have had your own accounts ready, your own savings, your own banks, your own trust accounts, your own everything. Because when they shut down your job, you had no choice. So your wife had to look at the husband and say, man, I thought you was the man, but maybe he had to be your boss, because when he shut you down, you were shut down. Or maybe husband had to look at his wife and say, hey, I thought we were sharing what we were doing with life, but when they shut us down, they shut us down. People learned that during this time. That's what happened. You learn what your children were learning in school, whether they were at home learning, on the computer and you finally get to hear what they said. And when you got told you couldn't go to work and you at home and you had to be the teacher of your child, now you know how your child acts in those schools and what they learn from those places. You learn to be self-sufficient because of this state of emergency. You've learned who controls your job, who controls your child's education, what your child acts like when you're gone. You earned, though, more time with your child. You earned, some of you all knew to start your own businesses. You learned that people who had businesses had more of a safety net with those loans they were giving business owners that a lot of the people couldn't get.
Right.
You learned that. So if you didn't do those things then, a solution is to do them now. If you just have a business and you're starting it and you're getting it going, and they feel like they're going to give more money, you're best off having the business to be in position to get a grant, to get a loan or anything than not. That's one solution. Another solution, or another thing you learn, who pretty much who controls your household. You learn the people in your household. You learn that going leaving that many times, all these hours a day, that y'all didn't get along. Some of y'all didn't really get along. The 8 hours helped y'all. 8 to 10 hours helped y'all. You learned that, and then you may have also hopefully learned to learn each other during that time, because we had to learn and live and love each other. So, solution for the support thing. Make amends for men, the woman who you got to pay it to. You were able to sweet talk her to get in them pants.
Okay.
Don't forget, she can make a private contract with you and terminate support. Maybe she'll get a heart. Maybe you come back to her another way. Maybe she'll see that this is only going to drag you even more. And if I drag you more, I'm dragging these children or this child more. So private contracts, or you should learn, and I think the lead attorney talked about this, Dinus, when he was on your show. You should have learned, get an agreement. If you think you're going to be with somebody for a long time, even right now, get an agreement. Some people got prenups. Get an agreement saying what's going to happen before anything goes down. Have a private contract ready. Have a trust ready. Have a will ready. Have your insurance ready before something happens. For those who don't have a child yet, don't get into that. But for those who do, solution, try to get it terminated as soon as possible. And if you can't get it terminated, remember, they have a thing called, and this is not legal advice, it's ministerial advice. They have a thing called a modification, emotional modified. If you lost money during this time because somebody told you couldn't work, you always had a right to modify it. Some of us just don't know it and we're not exposed to these things. That's why I'm making a YouTube channel called, and private channel called the Exposure Room, to expose you to these things and these solutions. Another solution.
Hey, FEB, there's a lot of background noise, FEB. I don't know if you got your windows down or AC on or fan.
Okay, hi.
Oh, I didn't know you had somebody on.
Hi, Dinus. Hi. Interesting topic. I'm driving, as a matter of fact. So that's why you're hearing all the background noises. Sorry about that.
No
I was listening on the fact that you said Black America is under the state of an emergency. And that was, and that we've never actually left. You know, that's something I never thought about. Like, that was very striking to me. So my question is, like, how do we start to get out of that, you know, state of emergency? Like, what steps can we take as Black people to kind of get ourselves out of it? Because we know the white man is not gonna, you know, he's not gonna do that for us. So what can we as the people do to start that process?
Oh, thank you. And blessings to you, sister, for asking that question. Dinus, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Go ahead, Father Moni.
Okay, what can we do? Now I'm going to tie this into the last show I was on, Dinus. What was the title of the last show?
Man, what's the title of it? Hold on.
Black Americans. Black Americans worth saving.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, Sister FBB, and for the audience, I have a presentation that I'm going to put on my site. It's called Contract with Black America. It was made off of when Ice Cube tried to, and some of them tried to make a contract with the president, then Trump. And you already have the plans because you've always been under fire. Black Panther Party has a 10-point program. So when the last show we would get into a whole big thing about why do we need to look to the past, I'm about to show you why. So I'm gonna start actually with the Nation of Islam first. They have a 12-point program on the back of every copy of the final call. In that 12-point program, they have been asking since I don't know how long, the 40s, 50s. We want freedom, full and complete freedom. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally. We want equal opportunity, equal membership in society. We want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descended from slaves to be allowed to establish separate state or territory of their own, pretty much for trading amongst ourselves. Something we should have been doing, because when you got shut down, had you had your own stuff, had you had your own stores, your own shops, somebody else ain't about to be able to just really tell you what you can do in your own community. I'm not briefly talking about this thing that's on the back of the final call, because Sister FBB, you asked an important question, what can we do? It was a plan laid out what we can do. Even what Dynasty is doing, having your own business. The nation talked about that and did that. Point 4. Point 5. We want freedom for all believers in federal prisons. Pushing for freedom for Black men and women now under death sentence and things of that nature. 6. We want immediate end to the police brutality and mob attacks. I mean, this was way before all the deaths we seen on the news and on TV. These things were argued way before. There's been a Black agenda way before. And speaking of that, it's a book out right now you can look at. It's called The Black Agenda. I was trying to have my Gary Regan Fellows come on and talk about it. This book has the Black agenda for the last 400 years in it. It's still a necessity. We're in this situation because, as I said last show, we didn't fulfill the law of our ancestors. They gave us a baton. A lot of people feel like they failed us, but if you look at any one of the plans of Nation Islam, because I don't want to go through the whole thing, but sister, you can read the back of the final call, or you can Google the 12 points for the Nation Islam. They're going to tell you everything they wanted. And it is an answer to this day. It is an answer. You can look up, and anyone over here, if you want to talk about it now, Google the Black Panther Party's 10-point program and tell me it's not needed. You can Google the OAAU of Malcolm X. It's going to tell this program. Okay. I know you want direct answers, FBB, so I'm just giving you all some things.
That was helpful. That was helpful a bit. You know, what saddens me is just that, you know, it seems like it's so hard to get Black people together to work together sometimes. I mean, we're so fractioned, and, you know, everybody believes in their belief system so strongly, and they're willing to take down the next Black man, you know, like, it's crazy out there right now. It's so crazy.
Well, here are more direct answers for you. Start a business right now, in case something else comes up, just to be in position to be able to get more money. I mean, work the business as well. Don't just start it and hold on to it. But if you do, it just gains more years to it. Because a lot of businesses want your business to have at least I would say 5 years, but at least 3 to 5 years to look at it as a healthy business. So if you're starting now, you're starting on something you can pass down to your kids. You cannot pass your job down to your children, but you can pass down your stocks that you own in your business to your children. You can pass that down. Get a business, invest in your business, invest in yourself, and invest in your stock. Also, find out that you can actually either come together with people you know, if you don't have good credit, come together with people you know that have good credit and ask them to make you an authorized user on the card. You don't want the card. You just want the credit. You want to build your credit, or you can put together what's called a credit club. A group of people who some have better credit than others, and they loan each other their credit to get them up. and you get your credit up. Because credit is what works in America. If you had a bunch of credit cards and things went down real bad and you cashed in on them, hey, we're going to be mad at you. If you watch Black Acres of the Gambia, they might have said something about it, but don't leave that be.
Right.
Other solution, get your own education together. Get your own schools. Make a homeschool network. If your children are caught in their places and you don't want them full metal jacketed, have your own homeschool network where you and your people can, that you know, at least, that are safe with you, that are wearing a mask with you, that you can trust around your children, where you work together on curriculums. You can go to my YouTube page, is African Diaspora Academies on YouTube, where I talk about, and I'm going to be posting this video with the solutions. I'm going to be sending curriculum to people who ask for a curriculum they can use for homeschool. Pay attention to your homeschool laws of your state. You can make yourself the principal of your own school. Send a letter to whatever government agency that might be trying to chase them down for truancy in some states, not all states. Like in my state of Illinois, I'm a principal in my own home. I sent them a letter, let them know my children will never, I never truant, don't send nobody to my door. I have degrees in education. You degreed me, state. Don't play with me. And if you're not degreed, it doesn't matter. You've always been a teacher of your children. You've always been the first school of your children. Ain't no such thing as homeschool. It's home. And home training. It's home where you don't have to be gone 8, 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day serving somebody else. So get a school network. Or call someone with the skills and background of school. So a lot of teachers not working right now. Also, what we can do, all the retired teachers, start talking to them and say, hey, we need you. Can you help us with the curriculum? Can you help us with the lesson plan? Do that. It's retired teachers, it's retired judges. Can you help us with the laws? Can you help us with these lawsuits that are about to come out because they're breaking all of them? Make your network list of who you need. Make your list of what you need to survive. Get your bullets up. Get your club up. It's about unity right now.
You really need some. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. You know, that's a lot of things I'm going to, look up on and start researching. You laid a lot of gems, and I'm going to definitely look into that and look into your academy just to get some more information.
All right. Anybody on here wants to email me, they can email me at tamazighttemple@gmail.com. TAMAZIGHTTEMPLE@gmail.com or NASpublishing@gmail.com. They got questions. They just want some solutions or some direction. I'll do my best. I'm very busy. For those who, another thing we found out during this time is how many religious leaders sold us out. And a lot of us found out during this time how many sellouts we were following when you got Muslims getting on and saying that the full metal jacket is not halal, it's halal and not haram. Halal meaning lawful, haram meaning unlawful. They got Muslim imams saying that the full metal jacket is lawful in Islam. You're not supposed to talk about the conscientious arguments of if there's a fetal cell in there, but everybody knows cannibalism is against the laws of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So when people think about religious exemption, they don't want to hear no argument of what's in it, though. I'm just going to discuss a little bit of it because I ain't trying to mess with bro stuff, but there may be some dead fetal cells, which is, what you call it, that's being cannibal. That's against your religion. There may be some pork in there. Maybe some pork in there. So it's your religion. But if you can't prove what's in it, what are you going to do? But just argue this. Oh, well, I ain't going to tell you what to argue. You have to have a sincere belief in your religion. You have to prove a sincere belief to take a religious exemption if your state allows it. Some states allow a conscientious or personal exemption, but it ain't that many during this time. Religion and spirituality have always been your best way out. So now you are learning that you should have stuck to your creator and the old time religion, as the song went, and the old ways, because these new cats, the Dalai Lama took Full Metal Jacket on TV, supposedly. We don't know if it was real. You know what I'm talking about, Dinus?
Right.
Dalai Lama
Yeah, right.
came out and did it. The Pope surprisingly came out and said, no, it's good to take. What? Do you know what's in it? No, but it's good to take. But the book of Matthew say a savior will come like Jesus and tell people that it's Jesus and tell us to save you. The Bible talks about the 4 horsemen coming and bringing death. The Bible talks about the mark of the beast. Is it against your religion? Your Bible says only Jesus saves. The Torah talks about, or the Tanakh, Ketuvim, Nebium, talks about Leviticus and the laws of Leviticus. You can't eat of certain animals or unclean and unblessed animals. And if something has unblessed animal in it, if there's any animal products in what you're taking, it's ministerially speaking, it's unlawful for you. So it's unlawful for Muslims. I don't care what leader came out and told you what. If you're going to stand by your gun, your creator, your ancestors, your family, stand by it. There's an Odu for those who practice Ifa that talks about, the fact that Ifa heals us, that we go through Eshu, that we go through Ifa, and then we go through the Babalawos who been our healers before we had any medical doctors. I'm going to pause on those solutions because I see Miss, I think it's Sister Omega Courtney. I see my phone screen is small. So I can
go ahead,
for a second.
Go ahead, Sister Courtney. Go ahead. Courtney, you got to unmute yourself. Courtney, you got to unmute yourself.
Okay. We're going to wait for you to come in, sister. I'm going to back off when you come in. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I am so sorry. I was trying to click it. But I just wanted to really jump up here. Dinus, hello. Haven't seen you in a bit. So glad to be on a live. This is so needed. It's very rare. It's not very rare, but it's always epic when I agree with something that Pan-Africanism says. And I agree. Brother, you are laying some amazing facts. You are, as a former elected official, as a business owner, as a homeschool curriculum creator, as someone who is practicing homeschool, as someone who is an advocate for housing reform and canceling rent culture. We want to cancel anything, y'all. We need to be canceling rent. But I think Pan-Africanism is right on the money when he says these things have been presented for decades. We reject them. I think ultimately, I don't want to say collectively. I'm going back on saying things collectively. But I want to say ultimately,
I'm not
I think
Pan-Africanism. He's on here now. The Jabali is Pan-Africanism. I'm complex. Fajimoni.
Right. And I'm saying that what you were laying were very much facts. I'm saying in the room, Pan-Africanism was saying that these are things that we have rejected as ultimately as a people. Okay. And I agree with him. I agree with him. I've known Pan-Africanism for, going on about 2 years now. And like I said, we don't agree regularly, but when we do, it's epic. And I agree here. I think that this is the time that we need to honestly find who we tribe with and who we vibe with, because all tribes weren't working, cohesively. Let's get that very clear. But you can find who you tribe with. I loved your idea for a good credit club. I am practicing something like that with the Pick Your Neighbors event. We have one here in Atlanta next Saturday at 1113 Ira Street in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta, a Pick Your Neighbors event. And that's exactly the type of energy that we bring there. 70% of renters are Black people. 70% of property owners are not Black people. Let's do the math here, folks. Let's do the math here. If we stop renting, we collapse this system. Housing reform has got to be created. It's got to be dealt with. If we're the main people that are renting and we don't rent anymore. So we've got to start thinking smarter. Our people for a myriad of reasons We need to have escapism. So instead of us being serious and actively and aggressively looking for these solutions, we'd rather smoke. We'd rather have illicit sex. We'd rather find a party. We'd rather go to a stroke and smoke event, a sip and pain event,
First
than
of all,
get into a good credit event.
That just sounded crazy to me. I don't. Yeah.
But it's very true. It's very true.
So we got to get ready, right, Sister Courtney?
Yeah, correct.
Right, and we should have been ready, right?
Correct.
So now it's hitting us in our face, and we didn't have our guards up, right?
No, I don't believe that enough of us do. That's what I'm saying. I'm a former elected official. I carried the seat of the council in Miami, Florida. I am a business owner, have been for a number of years. I've been on the front lines of this as well as in depth in the community. And enough of us are pretending to be asleep. The only thing worse than trying to wake up someone who is sleeping is trying to wake up someone who is pretending to be asleep. And too many of us are still treating this as though I just literally 2 weeks ago, because I do these Pick Your Neighbors events monthly. And literally 2 weeks ago, I ran into someone and I said, hey, why didn't you come to the last event? You said you were looking for, some housemates because we purchased multifamily residential units. And she said, oh, I was real busy that day. I was at an event. So I went on her social media. She's taking pictures of herself in thongs in the woods. This is what you're doing, sis. This is facts. Dinus, I'm not playing. This Atlanta.
I know you're not.
This is what they're doing. But she has something so important to do. This is what people are doing. They are not ultimately. I'm not trying to say concentrated wise, strategically. Absolutely. We're probably in the room with people that are, of course. But ultimately, we as a culture are not looking for a way to exit. We are looking for acceptance, as
Can I say something to you on that, Sister Courtney?
as Pan-Africanism said. Yes, go ahead, please, brother.
Yeah, you said exit. So I don't want to leave Brother Pan-African, Brother Jabali, and Brother Prince Dinus out neither with the Africa plan. So I'm gonna get to that somewhere down the line, or I'm pretty sure. But
No, go ahead, and then go ahead, Fajimoni, and then we'll pass it to Brother Jabali.
Well, I'm waiting for Sister Courtney until she's done. Sister Courtney.
That was my conclusion, that I've been on the front lines and been in depth, been watching things, observing things. I've been back in Atlanta for a year. And trust me, above all else, I'm still very optimistic. Dinus, when you have a chance back in Atlanta, I would love to have you in. I produce the Trap Pastor's show now that he does in the Pittsburgh community. I would love to have you on as a guest. We've been bringing on great people.
I'm in Atlanta. I live.
So hit me up. I would love to have you on next week. Hit me up.
I live 5 minutes from Pittsburgh, so.
Come on, Dinus. Then this should be done. Let's have you on Wednesday. This will be great because Wednesday is Reparations Wednesday.
Oh wow.
We can have you on Wednesday.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So definitely hit the email. The same email, group glow up. So, but so I'm very still optimistic. Dinus knows me personally. He knows I'm still very optimistic. I'm not a pessimistic person by any means, but I'm very realist. And I am, I'm a member of I'm a professional in media. I'm 2 degrees up in media. I'm a media professional. I know what gathering numbers looks like. I know how to strategically gather numbers for it to reflect something. I know what narrative control looks like. And I can just tell you that personally, from what I have seen, is that too many of us, I'm not saying that there aren't a select, there are select people within this community, but too many of us are not taking seriously what is about to happen. Literally 6.3 billion, which if anyone reads budgets, that 6.3 billion is actually about 10 billion. 6.3 billion is paving the way for another demographic here. And I'm still being told by people, oh no, I'm good because I just signed my lease. Mm-hmm. Your lease means nothing when somebody comes in with I got $1 million to pay for 500 families. That's
Right.
that's what's being told to these property developers.
Sister Courtney, do y'all have a land bank in Atlanta?
They are in certain communities. There,
Okay.
you know, because Atlanta, you know, we have to talk about Georgia. Atlanta is one place, but it's Georgia. So all throughout Georgia, there are different areas of Georgia, yes. But Atlanta, you know, the land bank they're probably talking about is the new center that not center, but the new development that T.I. and Tiny are building up. People are really banking on that. They can't wait to move in.
Cobb County Land Bank or my bad,
off of the old Bankhead Highway. I forgot the name of it.
Right.
Like
yeah, because that was a community land. That was a land bank.
None of that.
Huh?
You said
y'all don't have like a Fulton County Land Bank, a Cobb County Land Bank,
not Cobb, not Cobb. No, not
so
Cobb.
You know, like land banks allow people group up together, and that's the thing about starting a company or starting a religious church together, or even an atheist group, because IRS recognizes atheists the same way they recognize religions when they're in the group. Actually, little do people know.
Yes, that's true. As well as witches, they have some witches covens here in Georgia.
And they
Same
can get together, and they can get the land bank sell their property for cheap, and they can find somebody who's already fixing up houses. They can be employing them to do so, and they can buy land bank property for the low.
Well, yes, I'm familiar with land banks and land trusts. Like I said, housing was my main platform as a council member in Miami. But here things work a bit different, and not worse. They work just differently. And when people say Atlanta, like as Dinus was saying earlier as well, people tend to think that Atlanta is like the state. It's not. Georgia, we have pockets. We have pockets here that are doing something, very progressive things. But in a whole, we're getting people to be on one accord. Like I said, we too busy taking pictures in bralettes and thongs in the woods, and that's what we're doing. We're too busy going to Reiki rituals as opposed to getting these multifamily properties together. So I'm gonna mute my mic. I definitely Pan-Africanism. I'm gonna let him take it because I know he will. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic. But Dinus, definitely make sure you email me. I want to get you set up for Wednesday.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Dinus, what's up? Can you guys hear me okay?
It's real low. It's like it's real low.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Nah, it's real low.
It's about the same.
Yeah, it's real low.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm so low, but I'm gonna talk louder. Can you hear better now?
I mean, it's we
Brandon,
take it off of Bluetooth.
We can hear you.
We
can hear you.
Put the phone next to your ear, Brandon.
Hold on.
You on that Metro PCS, Brandon?
Can you hear me now?
Brandon, the phone next to your ear?
No.
Can you
hear me better?
I mean, Brandon, just put the phone next to your ear, bro. I'll put in some headphones.
It's next to my ear. Can you hear me?
Nah, Brandon, you gotta get a new phone, bro. You got that Obama phone, Brandon. You should have been throw that away. Okay, all right.
He'll come right back on.
Right,
but as I was saying, pay attention to y'all state laws. Find out if your state is the kind of state that has a healthcare right of consciousness act. Like Illinois has a healthcare right of consciousness act that needs to be read. Go ahead, Jabali.
Can y'all hear me now?
I mean, we still, Brandon, call us when you get to the house, bro. Call us when you get to the house. All right. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to help y'all with solutions. For those who are fighting, your state should have a healthcare right of consciousness act like Illinois has, or a healthcare discrimination act that covers what you're talking about. Because we're talking about saving Black wealth here. We're talking about saving your family. We're talking about feeding your children, feeding yourselves. Save money now. Have assets around you that you can protect now. You got to get into a gun club. Look, you're already late, but hey, better late than never. Credit clubs, gun clubs, racking up, taking a class on how to build your own weapons. Because you can't always go to a store. Last time, you got to remember what happened last time. Tissue, bullets, which I don't know how tissue went before bullets, but because with bullets, I can get more tissue from anybody. I can come get your whole tissue stash. So, but I ain't saying I got none of them. I ain't saying what I'm doing. I'm just saying for the protection of my people and ministerially, I believe in people protecting themselves. Hell, the mouse got a right to protect itself from a hawk. So that's a God-given right, or Ozamari for me. You got other protected rights. So make sure to see what kind of state you're in. Find out if you have a conscientious state for arguing for your exemption versus a religious state. Because some states have 2, some have 1, some have 2 and 1. So for those who are fighting, these are things you have to know. When they take the Chicago Police Department union president of the FOP off of the gag order, pay attention to his video. He, like I said, he's full metal jacketed, but he was trying to tell you all what was your better protection. So for those who believe in God, God has always been your protection. Your ancestors have always been your protection. Your African spirit has always been your protection. You got to stay up under it. All right, brother.
Brandon, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
That's better, but go ahead.
Okay, so, I'm just like, it's good. A lot of people in the comments, yeah, they spitting facts. Of course it's spitting facts. Have you guys ever saw the scene on the movie Coming to America where the daughter of the guy who owned McDowell's gets up on stage and start talking about what they need to do in the community? And everyone's like, yeah, you're right. And then the pastor comes and he basically like circumvents her whole plan by just kind of saying these old familiar, things that Black people kind of already agree on. This is like that, right? Oh, we need to abolish rent, right? How many Black people own multifamily units? Just because you just got the idea to do that doesn't mean there wasn't somebody already doing that. So we are tied into America. Everything we do that we think is going to fix Black people's problems will hurt a certain segment of Black people, right? So screw the Black people who own property. What we need to do is abolish rent because that's going to fix everything. It's not, because if you get rid of rent, then you're still renting. It's called financing, and it's based on a loan. And when you pay that mortgage, if you ever get in a rough patch where you can't pay it, they still throw you out in the street. The reason why everybody
right, but only 9% of African Americans are property owners, brother. So I'm going for the greater majority. That's why.
Reason for that.
It is. It's systemic. It's systemic racism.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to common sense, not political stuff. Look at the dropout rate in the same state you're in of Black people. You think those people about to go get jobs and be able to carry a mortgage for 30 years? It's easy to say this stuff. You can't take Bonquisha out the projects and be like, all you got to do, Bonquisha, is go buy a house. It doesn't work that way.
No, and I've never said that, but I think that you can take Beverly, you can take Bonnie, you can take Belinda and Brenda, and they can pull up a Bonquisha, and they can get some property, and then a rising tide lifts all boats.
So now we're on those Democratic talking points, right? See how it comes to the surface once you start talking logically. So now Brenda and whatever got to pull Bonquisha up. If Bonquisha wanted to be pulled up by them, she would have been pulled up. And Dynas, you see where I'm going with this conversation.
Well, again, I want to ask real quick, Courtney, how does systemic racism keep people from buying houses?
Oh, no. Well, I think that what we have to do when I say systemic racism, we have to look at the history of it. There was no such thing as eviction before slaves couldn't own property. Slaves were property. So the process went like this. We went from slaves to being tenant farmers, all right, to being tenants, because remember, if anyone would care to look at their leases, actually, a tenant is supposed to have some type of investment opportunity in the land. That's why they had to cut off the tenant, because the tenants come from the tenant farmer industry. Okay, so you went from, I'm sorry, not from being slaves to tenants. You went from slaves to being sharecroppers, to being tenant farmers, to being tenants. Now that's all we are. You have no rights with just being a tenant. You don't. You have, the only thing that a landlord is responsible to give you if you rent a property from him. Anybody? A door and a toilet. A door and a toilet. That's what you have the rights to. Okay, so this is where I say that systemic rate. We have to look at the history of rent. The history of rent is rooted in making Black people be indebted to land. The same land that we were forced to build upon in the same structures. That's why there's such a move, not a movement or a campaign, but an effort, an initiative. In a lot of countries, a lot of counties and a lot of states that still have plantation properties, there's a concentrated effort to get them declared historical or hurry up and redevelop them. Because guess what? On those properties, Black people, because we're no longer property, our names are on those estates. So you have organizations out of Louisiana that are really, leading legislation in this, as well as some in the Carolinas. But, really, it's all over the South where these plantation properties are, we have access to. So when I say systemic racism, we talk about redlining, when we talk about balloon loans, when we talk about these efforts, this all comes from cut from the same cloth of making sure that Black people stay indebted to land. And we are primarily responsible for renting. We're 70% of renters. It's the same numbers.
What is a mortgage? What is a mortgage? A mortgage is just debt as well to a bank, which is indebted to the land. Buying is renting. And I'm not saying people shouldn't buy. I'm not saying that. But to sit up and say, well, all the problems will be fixed if we just stop renting. That's like me saying, well, all the problems will be fixed if we all just move to Africa. It doesn't work like that. You're ex-politicians, and politicians have agendas. That's the first thing. So this is your agenda, and that's okay. I have an agenda too. But at least with my agenda, I take into consideration the realities that people are dealing with. Can everybody move to Africa? No. Does everyone have what it takes to survive there? No. So when we talk about a plan, the plan has to be more multifaceted, which
and it is
different.
And it is. We have people on different levels. We do. We have people on different levels because, like you said, not everybody is able and not everybody is ready to go into an ownership opportunity. So we understand that. So it's a multifaceted process. But the ultimate goal is to get more of us into multifamily residence without concentrating it. So we're not talking about public housing. We're talking about building communities with families and aligning people with the same interests. So it's just different levels to it.
So the first thing where we need to start, right? Like Black people need to start saving their money, right? There's a lot of steps before we get to the multifamily purchase, unless you giving money for us to buy houses and we could just move in. That's not happening. So a lot of Black people, one, we lie about our finances, right? We're much more broke than we like to admit. A lot of us are stretched thin, car notes, all this type of stuff. The point I'm making here is this. Guys, if all this stuff was going to work, it would have worked already because somebody more smarter than you or me came out with this years ago. Black people reject this stuff repeatedly. So to keep saying, well, all we need to do is do this. Your people don't want that.
Yeah, I agree with you. So you're toning like, contesting. Yeah, I agree with you.
Point. I didn't interrupt you. But
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying.
Let's be real. Our people don't want that. They reject this stuff every day. Black Panther 10-point platform rejected. Most Black Americans didn't even support the Black Panthers or Martin Luther King for that matter, right? This was some stuff that had a magnifying glass put on it, but in reality, it was very small. It wasn't big, it was very small, and it didn't have any success, really. The good parts, white people came and took credit for it. In the bad parts, people's on death row. And I have many elders I talk to daily who are Black Panthers. And they'll be the first people to tell you. On my show last night, I played a video of an elder named Jomo, who was a Panther. And he was like, damn all that stuff. That stuff didn't work. He was like, if that worked, y'all wouldn't have to be out here doing what y'all doing right now. He was like, you guys have to find a new way to address what's going on with our people in America. And I feel like that's kind of like what the Pan-Africanists are doing. We're redefining what that is, and we're formulating new ideas and plans and infrastructure to deal with these situations.
What are those new ideas and plans, Brandon?
So I'm gonna tell you right here. One thing that we never talk about, start saving your money. Before any of this crap, start saving your money. If you don't know how to save, wait a minute. If you don't know how to save, you need to either give your money to your mama or put it into a CD, which allows it to mature and generate, and you can't get to it. Because if you don't got capital, you got nothing. So first, get you some capital. And we can start right there. How do we build capital in Black America? How do we convince these millions of Blacks to stop spending their money as soon as they get it? That's your first problem. Once you can address that problem, most of this stuff will work itself out. Dynas, did you have to learn how to save your money?
I'm still learning.
And I come from a family where we soon as we got it, we spent it. We was at Red Lobster, J.C. Penney's, all that stuff, and our bank account was on zero by the time we get the check on the 1st, and by the time the 10th come, we was broke. And a lot of us experienced that, right? So one thing you could do is just start workshops and classes and put the energy into, hey guys, if you're not good with money, let's start a savings club where we just encourage each other to save and pinch pennies and scrimp. This is, if you really think about the people who are punking it right now, this is what they did. They really just got together to do things that allowed them to save and build capital. Then they went ahead and did what they had to do, and it got them over. We keep trying to like jump the gun on the process because let's be real. What are our plans? Oh, we gonna buy a multifamily. That's not your plan. Your plan is to go beg a white man for money to get the money to buy the multifamily unit and then go into debt to him. Your plan should be, let's figure out a way to save that money. So when we buy it, we don't gotta pay nobody but the taxes on it. That's your starting point. So we're doing this thing called jumping the gun. That's what we love to do. We need to rewind our ass back to reality and say, let's figure out how to make our people save their money. And that should be the agenda for the next 5 or 10 years. And then once they save, then you launch the next phase and say, all right, let's go shopping. I just done that in my own group, so I know it's true. I know how it works, and it can be successful. But all this borrowing from Peter to pay Paul stuff, that's Black people, one, can do that on their own. So they don't need you. So that doesn't reinforce community. Number 2, Black people are already in serious debt to white folks, especially where you at, Courtney. Y'all got a lot of student loan debt. So even if you did buy something and pay it off, if you don't pay it off, if that student loan debt don't get taken care of, they'll just come take it away from you. So we got a lot of little things we got to start doing. Small perfection is a lot of small things done well. We got to get the small stuff first, and then you could talk about the big projects, which are possible, but you have to build that foundation. If not, you'll buy all that stuff and you'll just squander it in the end.
So We talked about building foundations, though. We talked about credit clubs and getting the credit up because you need credit for that. Also, what I didn't get the chance to mention was we should have been had more of our own. If we couldn't get in our own credit unions, we should at least have our own community trusts. Community trust will help what Brandon just said about Savings Club, because Brandon and College Genesis are the most exciting people on this that's ever been on this show, from what I was told from the comments. So, be that exciting. Let's keep talking about solutions. We don't want to just mention which ones are small, which ones are large. We want our people to know you've been in a state of emergency, and now it's worse. And as Sister Omega Courtney said, hey, all this partying and not saving ain't gonna help. But you know, these are grown people, and as their religion shows them, everybody don't make it. So whoever we can save, try to save, but especially your children. Somebody new has come in. I'm gonna chill out.
Hey, Lotus Rose, unmute yourself, please.
Hey, peace. What's going on?
What's going on? Hey, Lotus, expand on the move out the city and move to the country strategy. Can you expand on that a little bit more? I keep hearing that.
Well, a lot of us do have land that has been passed down to us, and we moved to the city. We act like we don't have this land that's been passed down in our families. And for those of us that don't have land, we could just buy some. And these mobile homes are pretty cheap. You can renovate one, you can buy one brand new, modern, however you want to do it. But we don't have to keep living beyond our means if, we have to stay in America.
What are your thoughts on that, Brandon? You mute. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
I agree with her 100%. She said everything. We live beyond our means. And look at all, just go for a minute and go on the internet and look at all the people who own land, all black folks, and they selling it. We talk about black people need to buy land. Black people own a gang of land, and they're selling it to white people for pennies on the dollar, right? So you gotta, like, one thing a Panther told me. He said, Brandon, you gotta give the people what they want. You can't give the people what you think they should have. Because if they don't want what you're trying to give them, you're just hitting your head up against a wall. So the first thing you need to do is identify what your people want, right? If you identify that, that'll give you an idea of what you need, how you need to proceed. Me, I did that. I was running study groups. Let's do group economics. Let's start a grocery store, all that. And when I took the pulse of my people, I said, my people in California, they don't want that. So I moved my sites to Africa. Dynas, you probably experienced the same type of thing at some point, right? They don't want that. So then I said, let me take my efforts to a place where people are like-minded, hence my organization, Like Minds, and who want the things that I have to offer, right? So when I went to Africa, I found Black Americans who wanted to own land in Africa. I found Africans who wanted to be a part of projects that were being built by Black Americans and wanted to earn a living. That's who you're going to be able to save. Those people who want what you want. We keep trying to address this like everybody wants the same thing. Listen, I got 5 sisters. Some women just want to go sleep with a bunch of men and have a bunch of kids and live in a projects and just go to the club. Some women want that. Some men just want to go gangbang and live the party life and shoot at each other and have a bunch of kids with a bunch of different. Some people want that. And it's very hard for us to accept this idea that our people could have gotten that low as far as our values to where we got to the point where we actually desire this type of stuff. But it's true. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And once you can accept that, you'll save a lot of time. Like with Omega Courtney talking about old girl who she wanted to come to her event, but old girl didn't want to come, made up some excuse, and then she went in her social media and saw what she was doing. She just doesn't want to tell you. Look, Omega, I know what you're saying makes total sense. I know it's perfect for me and it would change my life, but I just want to go around thoughting for the next 5 to 10 years. You hear women talk about, I want to go through my hoe phase. You didn't want to think she was a hoe. You didn't want to believe it. Then she had to come out and tell you, hey, I want to go through my hoe phase. I'm hoeing. I want to go hoe, right? Same thing with guys, right? Hey, bro, you don't got to be out here selling drugs, doing this stuff. And then the guy you talk to every day, and y'all talk about how hard it is in the hood and all that type of stuff. And then you realize he the captain of the gang. He running everything. And he likes doing what he's doing. There are even people who like to go to jail. I didn't learn that until I start working with a bunch of ex-cons. Some of them dudes be like, man, I'm on vacation. I'm on my way back. Some people like that. So once you get to that point to realize how total the damage is on some of our people, the mission has been accomplished, you're going to save a lot of time. And you just put up a light. And whoever wants to be in the light is going to gravitate to it. The ones who don't, they're not. So instead of going to create disciples and proselytes, just go do something. And those people who want it, what is the saying from Field of Dreams, Dynasty?
Okay, hold on. Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams. If they build it, they will come. Is that right?
If you build it, they will come.
There we go. Okay.
So don't go try to get them to build it.
That was Wayne's World too.
Yeah.
Wayne's World.
So don't try to get them to build it. You build it, and then they gonna come if they want it.
All right, this is my question, Brandon. Everybody ain't gonna be able to go to Africa. What percentage of African Americans you think gonna be able to go to Africa?
Probably like 2%.
2%. So should the ones who can't go do nothing?
No, this is the reality. Once the ones who go start building, the ones who quote unquote can't go, they're gonna find a way to get there. That's what black folks do. We do that.
How they gonna do it though when they behind the child support, they lost their passport?
No, there's very few black men who are behind in child support. There's very few.
Since the pandemic?
Since the pandemic, there's some, but it's no more than there were before. And people, okay, so I got a guy who was behind in his arrears. He's in OAP. That guy paid $12,000 off arrears, right? Went and figured out, the funny thing is I was able to send him to somebody who knew about the way the child support system worked. So he ended up, because he was paying his money, but it wasn't going towards his balance, some craziness. And I sent him to a lawyer who knew about child support, and they were able to get it to the point where he got his monthly payments reduced, and a certain amount was being allocated to his arrears where he was behind. That dude sent me a message on Facebook. He said, bro, in 6 months, my child support going to be paid down. I'm going to be able to get my passport, and I'm coming out to the OAP land to pick out my plot, right? Just starting to build is going to create more resources for our people, tangible ones, than trying to recruit them into the building process, right? Just starting to build on our own creates vehicles for our people. Because once they come to us and they say, man, I want to do this, right? You ever notice how black people can go from being in prison to graduating from college, right? But then we quick to say they can't do this, they can't do that. No, they just got to have the desire to do that. Right or wrong, Dynasty? That's it. Once black people really want to do something, bro, look, bro, I know dudes from the hood who ain't got no job. Let them see a new car that they like. Let them see a Challenger SRT that they want. That dude with no job, no credit.
Hey, or a Charger or a Camaro.
Yeah, or a Charger or Camaro. Let that guy with no job, no means of income, want that new car. That dude will find a way. He might be paying a 25% interest rate, but he will have that car. And he's not going to take a long time to do it either. He going to say, I want it, and in 2 weeks, he going to have it. Dynasty, have you ever seen that? Because I know I have.
All right. Oh, trust me, I already know.
So if we want it, we get it. So a ticket to Kenya costs $600 to $800 round trip. Every black person in America could afford that. We all touch money this year. We spent it on what we wanted. You got a dude in the hood walking around with a $12,000 Rolex chain on his neck with the bracelet. I'm like, damn, that's expensive. Even I can't afford that. But he wanted it, and he went out and got it. So all we got to do is build it, and the people who want to be there and want it, they gonna come and get it, period.
I don't disagree with that. But we're in a dire situation right now, in more of an emergency than we've been in. As you've already said, Brandon, we were already in debt. America was in debt before it was a country. It's in debt now. And the people are the ones that inherit the debt. Black folks inherit the debt more. At this point, we have a chance to be like the carpetbaggers of the Civil War. Because when these rich don't get paid, the market for real estate is about to boom. But people need to be in position to take advantage of that. When a lot of people who don't want to put on a full metal jacket somehow is not getting paid or can't go to work, a lot of other people have opportunity to work. That's why I was coming here to talk about solutions. I am not here to do Jerry Springer. I'm not even going to address some of the comments I was told was made in the chat. What I'm going to address is helping the people. So, because I care about them. And I don't care about them whether they're in America or Africa or the Caribbean or Brazil or wherever we are in the world. It could be Antarctica. We need to do things, as you did say, Brandon. We need to do things. We need to be about doing. We need to recognize America is a nation of credit. America is a nation that deals with Social Security numbers and identity to get things. America is a place that deals with race to get things. And our people need to understand you are in a more dire situation than you ever been. And don't wait till it hits you, because it's coming back if you see what's happening. Joe Biden talked about the job report. Up, down, then down, down. SBA president resigned. FBI raided his house. It's all those things I read in the beginning, you can't disagree with. Like, are we, the topic of the show, which I think we all talked about, is are we in a state of emergency? And what I brought to the topic was, what are some solutions? What are some solutions to, let's say, go to Africa now, but I don't have a money base in America where American money is worth more. Now, Brandon, like you and Diners, I've been to Africa several times, and they don't live beyond their means. I've seen Africans get up in the morning and go to their garage and work out their garage, whether it's sewing or anything. And I've always wanted to take our people, and I have taken people and whole families. Diners knows this. I don't say, and so that just so they can see how they live. I've seen somebody pay 200 Naira to eat some peanuts and some corn on the side of the road, and they say we live and eat too expensively. And so I agree with you on that. And if they got a chance to go see Africa and see the that is in the culture to not overspend, they hopefully, will learn. They say a picture's 1,000 words. So I do agree that most of us that can go to Africa, or the ones that can't, should make a way. I agree with you on that. The ones that can, pay attention to how the actual Africans are living, not the ones, not the smaller percentage, but the ones who, have to take care of family. Africans have their whole business, their whole family is their business. And here, if you realize when your whole family is your business, whenever anybody gets a check, it goes back into your household. So since it's been revealed to us who ran some of I'm a business owner, multi-business owners. I ain't had them problems. However, for those who do, I'm not going to look at them like, because I have these things, I'm not going to share it with you, which is why I brought up how they can buy their credit, how they do their credit club, that they need to set up their businesses, that they need to have stock in their businesses to pass down to their family. Because when you have it and you share it, somebody going to hear you. My guy Pac say, holler if you hear me. And I know somebody on this call hear me. And no, I don't be preaching. Everything I talk about, I do. So this is the next thing I'm going to say. We need to own the means to what we do. If you need to go to Africa, and if Africa is allowing you in because what a DNA test says, guess what? My company is now a DNA company. Now, y'all can call me soon for your DNA results. Instead of going to such and such, I'm not tripping on nobody because I'm not going to hate on nobody. They do what they do. We're going to make sure we're in part of this because we have to be in control of the means. We don't own not one hospital in America. And you can't say Howard University Hospital is black because the board of Howard is not. It's not. Black Panther Party, what they did was take over them hospitals and medical centers successfully. They took over them college classrooms successfully. They took, I said took. I ain't say ask for it. I ain't say ask for a bill to be passed. No, they took it. So in a dire situation, you have to take things. And as Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. told me his father taught, and his mama Aqua told me his father taught, people get into these things for 3 different reasons: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation. And right now, I'm trying to inspire because it's been a different situation, and now it's getting more desperate. So when them jobs are gone, people are going away. If you got your own business, whoever job might suffer and close down, look at those jobs as a solution and see what you can build in that same place where you can be the boss, where you can have that stock option. We're right now at the same place we were with the Freedmen's Bureau during the Civil War. I'm just full of solutions. I ain't got time to battle out with nobody because I have to be here or in Africa, wherever I'm at safely or not. Let's be real about Africa, though. They got some of the same struggles, too. Yes, they do. Yes, they have some of the same struggles. Yes, they police kill them, too. I've been over there. They kill them, too. Yes, there's poverty. Yes, they get cheated out of apartments, property, renting. Yes, they do. So if you're going to get them those solutions, make sure the people know they're going to run into some of the same problems. The face going to be black. And some going to be Asian. Some going to be white. But let's be real. They still can run into those problems unless somebody like you or Dynas or anybody who's over there already. I forgot the other show you was on yesterday, Dynas' brother, the brother from the Manosphere. Brother O'Shea. The sister in Ghana, the family in Gambia, unless you all show them the way, and unless you all collect in a diplomatic way all the people that's needed, where our people can't get fucked over. You know, I don't gotta bring up Lou Major, but I will. Unless y'all found us a right pipeline. It can't just be any pipeline. Just because I run away from slavery don't mean I want to get fucked over by my own people. Ain't finna happen, bro. So, and I'm doing the same thing. That's why I'm over there, covertly, to try to make sure we have the direct pipeline to where it's done right. And because we had enough crises. We've been through enough. My people cry enough. They hurt enough. Their stomachs hungry enough. They kill enough.
Well, right now, look, right now, there's a labor shortage in America. So every black person in America could probably go to a business and say, hey, man, I'll come work for you under the table, tax free. Just give me cash and start earning some extra money. I know in California, there's help wanted signs on every damn business, every last one. So every black person should be, they could have 2 and 3 jobs if they wanted to. And it ain't nothing wrong with working 2 or 3 jobs for a little while to build some capital up to do something, right?
Right.
That's what people got to understand. There's a time to work. There's a time to get up and there's a time to lay down. There's a time to work and there's a time to rest. We love that rest time. We love that time where we get to sit on our butt and do nothing. We got to learn to adjust that type of stuff. We got to learn to work sometimes, rest sometimes. We love just kicking back, being entertained until something bad happened. Then we going around with the bucket in the street. Life insurance policies. I have a $500,000 policy, and I pay $17 a month. And I got one of those for my whole family, right? That is, life insurance is a vehicle for wealth, right? I hate to say it like that, but it's reality. If someone gonna die, at least hedge your bet. Okay, grandma died and we got paid. We miss grandma, but in her memory, let's go build some generational wealth. How many of y'all ain't got no life insurance, but you could have it for $17 a month? Now, I also have an annuity, which also is another policy, but everybody can't afford that. But you guys got to understand something. You're not even in the game. You're not even playing. You're not even taking the field. Sitting up on the sidelines talking about we need a solution. You got no, you're not even in the game. So life insurance, go work 2 jobs. There's security jobs, Dynasty, which I was talking to my sister about this because she does it. At her job, all you got to do is pull up in your car and sit there for 8 hours. You don't even got to get out your car. Dynasty, you don't even got to get out your car, and they paying $19 an hour up at UCLA. You just sit there.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
I happen to own one of those security companies, by the way.
Yes. So there's a means your grandma could do that. Anybody. So there's a lot of vehicles to move towards wealth and to build capital. We're not taking advantage of it. It's like we looking for something, but we purposely walking right past it, saying, "Man, I can't find it. It's here. You just don't want it." That's what's going on with this.
But let me ask you a question on what you just said. They just don't want it. Why do you think they don't want it?
Because they're lazy.
That's it?
Yes. Food stamps.
That's what white people say about black people.
Entitlements, food stamps, Section 8 housing, things that incentivize not trying to do better.
But who pays for those things? Who pays for Section 8?
I do, through my taxes.
You? Then the rest of us. What about them people who go buy them hot chips? Don't they pay taxes too?
They do.
So why would we down them like they ain't paying for Social Security or child support, which come from Title IV funds? When it comes down to it, I'm going to say what I think it is. When people have white thinking minds and we're trained by what they want us to do, and we don't change our mindset, change our spirituality, change being a white Christian, change being a white Muslim into African-centered, which you should still agree with, Brandon, African-centered Christianity, African-centered Islam, African-centered Buddhism. Because I'm trying to see if you got a solution for them to change the mind state. But the mind state is messed up. Like somebody asked me, Dinus, why y'all wear Greek letters? And I said, why y'all speak with Latin letters? Why you speak Anglican? You speak Greek. You speak Greek and Latin. Dude, what the hell you think we talking right now? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are Latin and Greek letters. And you worry about what I'm wearing or what I'm doing? Your mindset, your spirituality changes your mindset, your culture, your habits, your behavior. So why I think it's like that? Because we're not spreading enough things for them to change their minds.
All right. Brother Dawood, go ahead. Dawood.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
I just had a question for Brandon about this Pan-Africanism thing, right? So it was never clear to me how Africa can be united under that banner, Pan-Africanism. I mean, it's so diverse. And what is your understanding of Pan-Africanism, Brandon?
So my thing is this: Pan-Africanism is a political ideology, right? Like Democrat, Republican, Pan-Africanism. So everybody in Africa doesn't have to be united under Pan-Africanism. Like if you don't want to be a Pan-Africanist, you could go do whatever you want to do. But Dinus is a Pan-African. I'm a Pan-African. O'Shea, different people. We'll just work together. So all the guys were like, everybody won't be united. Well, we know that. No, everyone's not united under anything. We live in the United States. It's as this united as it is, it's also together. They'll link up to come whip your ass if you threaten something that they got or they want, right? So we just have a very childish type of like cynicism. Oh, all African nations. Have you been to all African
nations? What does it mean though? What does Pan-Africanism mean though?
What do you mean by what does it mean?
Like, is it a political party, like you said, or is it a?
So
what does it mean when you say I'm a Pan-Africanist? What are you communicating?
What I'm communicating is Black people need to come together politically, spiritually, economically.
You understand? Who are Black people though?
Oh, see,
what? You trolling, man. Get out of here, man. I ain't got time for it tonight.
Yeah,
go ahead. Who are Black people? Go ahead.
I don't think he was trolling though. I know he was going with it.
You get
who
those
are Black people? You trolling, man. Come on.
Look, you get these people come in talking with that African British accent, right? And they're like, who is Black? So what they're doing is they're trying to take the white Europeans. They're trying to use white European talking points and reasoning to disprove you. Because what he was going to go into was, well, we're all human beings and we all could work with, and don't try to exclude my Chinese wife. They all have the same thing because they're trying to find a way to bond with Europeans. And when you talk about Pan-Africanism, that kind of eliminates that. So they got to discredit Pan-Africanism to validate what they're doing. That's fine. He can do that. Why? He don't know what Pan-Africanism is, but he's in a Pan-African space.
He was being disingenuous.
What I'm talking about will get you that security job, dog.
Hey, did you freeze for a second,
What?
Brandon?
He did. Brandon froze.
Okay. You froze for a second.
But hold on. Hold on. So guys, hit that like button again. Please hit the like button. In Tour, Sierra Leone, citizenship is also available for those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available for those who qualify. Tour, Sierra Leone, hit me up. We're leaving November 19th. Send me an email. Go to dynastymirror.com. Send me a message. Also, I'm rebranding the travel company. I'm in the process of doing that right now. So there we go. All right, go ahead.
All right. So Brandon, I'm gonna tell you, OAAU, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Malcolm X organization. These are their basic aims and objectives. Self-determination. Do we need that today?
Yes.
Are we forced to do that today?
Self-determination?
Are we forced to?
No, you can go to county
when the jobs got cut down, you know what I mean? When they cut the jobs down and all that.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can go to the county office.
When your kids didn't have to go to school, when your kids couldn't go to school, was that not self-determination when you had to teach them?
Yes.
It's self-determination, right? Another one they got. We assert that we Afro-Americans have the right to direct and control our lives, our history, and our future, rather than to have destinies determined by American races. We are determined to rediscover our true African culture, which was crushed and hidden for over 400 years in order to enslave us and keep us enslaved up to today. And then the next objective is national unity. Is that not needed today?
Yeah. I don't think it's much, but yeah.
I mean, but it's needed. So it ends up with this. I'm just giving you the small part. I'm not gonna go all into it. It is end up the basic unity program of the OAAU before Malcolm X got killed. You can see he was pushing Pan-Africanism, right?
Right.
So he has number 1, restoration. Number 2, reorientation. Number 3, education of self. Number 4, economic security. Number 5, self-defense. How is that not needed today?
Yeah, that stuff is needed, but the way that stuff is going to be achieved and executed is different from back then, because now we know that there is a agenda that works against that. So to say we need this, right, and then try to achieve it and get thwarted by the government, right, and then to say, oh, we still need that, so we got to go get it when the same government is in power, right? The same people are pulling the strings. It's kind of like disingenuous, because you got to realize you have to change the playing field now before you can try again. That's what I'm saying. So what I encourage people to do is, let's go create that economic base in Africa, so that even if they try to undermine it, there's way less organization and infrastructure there. So there's way less reach. The government has less reach in Africa than America. And so, and then if they do, you still have enough money to where you can kind of play hardball. You can move around if you need to, all this type of stuff. We just got to get on a playing field that's more level.
Do you know that Malcolm X was in Africa and he met with Kwame as an advisor in Nkrumah?
Yeah.
You know that W.E.B. Du Bois was also an advisor.
Yeah.
You know, Martin Luther King went there.
Yeah, they should have stayed over there.
So what makes you think that the white agenda? I don't disagree with you. Well, W.E.B. Du Bois did stay over there. He did die over there, and they just opened his house as a site of a museum site in Ghana, actually, for people to start seeing. So he did actually die over there.
Yeah.
So
Kwame.
That's all I want to talk to you about, bro, was that the white man, the agenda's been the same, bro. This is not a new agenda. It's just, you know what? You ever watched The Wire before? The show?
I did, but look, they
my guy
left to
Slim,
Africa.
let me tell you, let me finish my statement, Brandon. My guy Slim said the game ain't changed, it done got more fierce. That's it, bro. So their agenda ain't changed, they got more fierce. So why can't we get together and get more fierce together?
And that's what I'm saying. We got to start playing hardball, which means, okay, it's like when you play football, Dynas, right? We all play football. If y'all trying to run the ball, but they stack at the line, what that mean you're going to have to do? You're going to have to air that joint out, right?
Right.
What we're doing is we running the wing T offense. They didn't shut it down. We Army or Navy. We Army. Army runs the wing T. We running a wing T offense. They didn't shut it down. They didn't stack the line. We getting about -3 yards per carry. And we're saying all we got to do is run a little harder. All we got to do is block a little better. Nah, coach, we need to run a play action. Make them think we're going to run that bit and then throw it up over the top. Even if we don't catch the ball, now they have to open up because they're like, that is a threat. That's what we're doing with Africa. We got to throw a juke move on them. Juke to Africa, slide back to America, and juke back to Africa if we got to. The problem with us is we're totally immobilized. We're just stuck in, we're like, they're right now, they shooting fish in a bucket. We in a bucket, and they just shooting us with a pellet gun. So if Martin Luther King had stayed in Africa, imagine where Africa would be. Imagine where Black Americans would be. Malcolm X, same thing. Kwame Ture, same thing, right? Because everybody who ran to Africa lived. Everybody who went to Africa and came back to America died. It's simple as that. Are you more useful to your people dead or alive? W.E.B. Du Bois, he caused a lot of confusion, but when he went to Africa, he didn't start building nothing. He gave the best of what he had to white folks trying to be a part of what they was building, and then the rest, what he had left over, he went and took it to Africa. Kwame Nkrumah tried, but then, some of the tribal chiefs and COINTELPRO got to him. But there was nothing stopping these brothers from saying, I'm just going to go pull a Booker T. Washington over in Africa. Same thing, I think, with Dr. Umar Johnson. I think he's wasting his time doing this project in America. Do it in Africa where someone's going to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And then
and it'll be more cheaper.
And cheaper. See, but we still living under the illusion of this American dream. We're like, if it ain't done in America, it don't mean nothing. Open a fish market in America, build a school in Africa. Put what you love in Africa and put the stuff you need that support what you love in America. I guarantee you, you open a fish market and put it in a Black neighborhood, it'll be successful. It'll be there 20 years. Guaranteed.
So you do understand that I'm also about building in Africa, right? Because we don't know each other. So I would appreciate, brother, if you have a heart to say for yourself, the comments I heard was made, bro. I told you I ain't about that Jerry Springer shit, bro. Hey, listen. I ain't finna fight with you over nothing, bro. And I don't got time because we're in a state of emergency. So I don't care who's the best and most exciting guest on Dynas show. I care who we can reach, bro. Who we can reach, who we can teach, who we can help. I'm going to be over on the continent again and again and again. I'm going to grow my generations there. But I'm going to get that money from America because that money is bigger. And it's bigger in Africa. But I'm also encouraging the brothers who stuck in America to still fight the fight and still do things that's right. Still have a better spirit because language controls thought. Thought is triggered by culture and behavior. Most people live the culture of the enemy and they looking for the enemy to be outside themselves. And it's enemy like when if I make a comment against you about anything, I don't even know you, that's enemy like. And I ain't finna be the right man. So that's why people need to get their African mind back, the African spirit back, and behave in culture if they can. But a little cursing and a little getting at people, ain't nothing wrong with that. Lotus Rose is back. I'm gonna get out her way for a second.
Go ahead, Lotus Rose. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
We hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off of what Complex was saying. My my reasoning for mentioning the mobile homes and whatnot was more so a play to get us to Africa. If we are overextending ourselves financially where we are, we have to get, to point A, from point A to point B. And that's just a good way to get there. So, but my question is for Brandon. Brandon, I know we had our little issues with the whole gender thing, and that's fine. But my question is, what advice do you have for single mothers who want to move? I've been running into a lot of roadblocks with safety and things like that. So, want to know your opinion.
Single mothers. I would just say just plan everything. Like you could move. There's people going to Africa who have children, women who are single. Just make sure you plan everything. And the biggest thing you got to do is visit first. Just visit first. Go by yourself, explore, or take somebody with you. Explore, look at things, ask questions. Hey, is this area safe? And go to a place where there's other children, right? Like in Kenya, where I live in Kenya is an area called South B. That is a family middle class neighborhood. When I go downstairs in the morning to grab a cup of coffee, there are hundreds of kids walking or catching the motorbikes to school. So that's a place where you could raise a kid, even if you're a single mom, because there's kids there. And then, of course, women, they tend to gravitate towards each other, help each other. You're a Black American, they'll notice you, they'll speak to you and stuff. And then, go to the schools in that area, and you just build a little network, right? Right? Go to the school, talk to the person who's the superintendent of the school, uh, or the schoolmaster, and then you go and you just see other people in that area. If my daughter is 12 and I see a bunch of 12-year-old girls walking to and from school every day, I know if I send her with them, she'll make it to school and make it back and she'll be all right. You know what I mean? That's it. Just plan it. Don't go out there like some people, never been there, just run out there hoping everything work out. Just go visit a couple times. It's like when you move into an apartment or a house, you go visit the area at nighttime so you could see what it's like, right? We were just looking at a house over in Manhattan Beach, this little city called El Segundo. Well, I've never even been to El Segundo like that, but I was like, let's go over there and check it out. We went in the daytime, it was okay. There's a huge refinery over there. I didn't like that, but it seemed all right. Then we went there at night, and the refinery was pumping freaking fumes into the air late at night, and we're like, this is a no-go. You see? So you just got to go and get a feel for the area and then make your decision.
Hey, Lotus Rose, if I can ask a question. Sardo Noopsa says, get back with your baby daddy is a solution. Is that a solution?
That's not a solution. I mean, that might be a solution for some people, but he should first of all mind his business.
Can we put
But
some Can we put some respect on the Sardo Noomspa, which is from Golden Child? Dinus, I can't believe you catch
Okay.
that.
Okay.
yeah, no, he's not Pan-African for one. We have fundamental disagreements on, the way that we want to do things. And it was good for a season, and I've evolved, and he's done his own thing, and that's fine. So no worries about that, but I appreciate it.
Take him on a date.
May I address you, Sister Lotus, on that?
Hey.
Find something to change your mindset. And I'm not saying you're the issue or he's the issue, because I'm pretty much sure that he ain't thinking about going to Africa like you, right?
Correct.
Right. And I had to myself depart from a person like that. So listen, change your spirit, your mind. have your children learn about the language in Africa or the place you want to go. Because they're going to learn before you. They're more spongier than we are, right? Have them learn, because they'll end up teaching you. You'll be surprised. At African Diaspora Academies, we teach children in Yoruba African drills. Drills on how to stand, drills on how to listen, drills on paying attention, drills on coming to attention, drills on physical exercises that'll help them pay attention when they need to. And when you say a certain drill, like I'll say something to them like Akiyesi, they'll say Akiyesi, attention. You say it in the middle of a store, they're gonna know it's gonna be so much in them. They're gonna know. Stop, pay attention, draw the mama, and changing your mindset and your spiritual energy around you should help you draw the spirit you're looking to have in your life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Spirit and language counts. Changing your mindset is changing your language, changing your culture, and changing your traditions, and adding to them. Keep the English language for trading and for making money, but get the language to where you want to go in Africa, Sister Lotus.
I have a list.
Doing that.
Senegal, Kenya, Ghana, maybe.
Hey, in Africa, what do they speak in Kenya?
English.
No, they speak Swahili.
The traditional language, bro.
English their first language. Hey,
wow.
I have a cousin in Kenya who's been there for like 12 years. So
Lotus Road.
Oh, there you go.
Let me tell you this. If you take his kids to Africa, he gonna have to come to Africa. So it's good. It could be a building opportunity. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. People's hearts change, all that stuff. But yeah, just go visit, and you get there, get your kids there, you know, and just get involved. You know, start taking trips now, and then you'll know exactly. Once you get there, you'll know exactly what to do.
Thank you, Brandon.
I agree with Brandon on that as well. Birth pay attention, Sister Lotus, to their birth certificates, as Dynasty is helping people go over to Sierra Leone for citizenship. Sierra Leone wants both parents on birth certificate. Some other countries want an affidavit from the father. So
I don't have any
get
problems.
that while you can. While y'all getting along, get it.
No, we're good with that. We're just not together.
But you get what I'm saying? Get the affidavit while you can, while you're getting along. If something happens in between,
most definitely a father.
Yeah, get that affidavit saying that you have permission to take those children over there.
Yeah,
you got me.
Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. Fajimon, anything else you'd like to share in closing, brother?
In closing, I'm gonna wrap it all up with what I said. Own the means for what you want to do. Own the businesses. Own the DNA companies. If they asking for DNA for whatever, own the companies. If they asking, Dynasty owns the travel company. They want a travel person, own it. If you own one, link with the people who own the other parts and make a big coalition to make this thing more doable. So in closing, also keep your ancestors in mind. And remember that I said all the plans from OAAU to UNIA to Nation of Islam, you can still read them today. They're still needed today. So you're looking for solutions, go back, Sankofa, and look. But also look to the future. Dynas, Brandon, O'Shea, the sisters in Ghana, there's a couple of them. And just, say and know that you are not just in a state of emergency. You are under a state of emergency. And you may not have the time, so act like you don't have as much time as you used to have, and make whatever happen you can, and whatever's granted to you by your ancestors and your creator. I pray that it's the great thing. I thank your ancestors. I thank your creator by whatever name you go by. And please don't waste your money on bogus paperwork telling you it's going to save your job or save whatever. Do your research on whatever. That's it.
All right, cool. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.